All right, gang. So as we give maybe one more minute for everyone else coming in, everyone just tune in with your systems, with your bodies, with your hearts, knowing that you guys have, I'm going to say redundant words and use them anyway, choicefully chosen to step into a magical portal for an hour. So that's fun and cool. And as I say that, just notice what happens in your body. What's alive for you? And even just as you invite yourself into this moment, into this hour together, allowing your body to settle, the parts of you that have been moving and grooving, if that's been your day, to recalibrate to the now. The parts of you that feel like they're a little bit in the future or a little bit in the past, just gently invite them into the now. So I'm going to give us a little bit of preface, a little bit of story arc for ourselves today, and then we'll do a quick check-in and some body work, and then we'll get into magic, which of course is already here. So over the course of our hour, we are going to do one of my favorite kinds of magic that is what I call field magic, where we're actually going into the field and manipulating energy. And I use manipulating in like the most loving way possible. Can you guys hear my dishwasher? Cool. Thank you. And we're going to do that by means of storytelling, which of course is one of the oldest forms of magic, and by a method that I'm going to say that I made it up, but I'm sure that I didn't make it up and there's other people doing it. But it's something that came through for me doing work in the field, with my own field, with clients' fields, with the field at large, and also family constellation work and drawing a blank and the constellation work and play therapy. Cool. Okay. So I would love some check-ins. I want to just feel you guys before I take us on a journey. So either unmute or pop in the chat. Let me feel our prompt for this one. Um, what's alive? What's alive for you? In Geneva, as you're landing the prompt, either come off mute or pop it in the chat. The prompt is what's alive?
Hi,
Hi.
I'm comically um, moving into a huge just identity shift right now and upgrade in myself, in how I hold myself, in claiming my power and like knowing that on a deep fundamental level in a way that I've been working for almost the last decade in this work.
Mm.
Um, it's like right now happening. And it feels so good. And it's also sort of like reorienting, um, and calling in different clients. That means also evolving my business, evolving who I call in as my clients. And there's a little, in the beginning of this month, there was a little bit of like, ooh, am I ready for that? Now it feels more grounded, like, oh, I'm ready for that. And my human wants to know, like, what does that look like? What does that actually look like? And I'm developing an offer suite, which I've never had before. So there's so many moving pieces right now, and groundwork unfolding. And I'm just still in the birthing canal. But I'm just also reveling in the fact that I'm even here in this birthing canal.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So good.
Yeah, 10 years, 10 years in the making. Um,
Oh shit.
I
Yeah.
love I love also that the human is like, but I want to know what it looks like. But like babies can't see the world from the birthing canal. You like can't see out of it and you're not supposed to yet.
Quite literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're also not like, I need to know what's going to happen in my life. They're just being birthed. Yeah. So trying to just like allow that to be pleasureful too, because of like I've done so much hard work behind the scenes to get here. Like, can this also be nourishing and fun and more easeful? And the answer is yes already. But I am very excited about like these pieces and being here and getting a little bit more of a like the magic in here, but also like the word is like textiles, like tangibles, like cool, here's an avenue that we could pop into and create a reality with it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Hell yeah. Cool. Well, I'm so excited to build your suite together.
I know.
Fun.
I know.
Yay. Thanks, Tiff. All right, Brandy, I see you being sick today. Love that you're here and expansion into overwhelm. Totally understand. I will jam about that in just a moment. Great. What else is alive? What else is in the room? Kelly, tension, trigger, annoyance, a housemate and wanting to move. I get that. Oh, house stuff is such root chakra stuff too. It's like stability and I feel you. Trauma. Yeah, really, I really get it. I really get it. Okay. All right. Well, Kelly, just big invite for you to be held by this space as we're together. Oh man, I feel your emotions too. I see you. Yeah, babe. Hi, Adria.
Hi. I feel like I have a little bit of a lag. I am joining from my vehicle today because it's finally warm here after we got a foot of snow last week.
Nice.
And my car is like a sauna and I love it. So there's air like coming through the top, but we're good. Um, what's alive for me right now? When I was in university, I got a bachelor's degree with a major in English and a business diploma. Why is that relevant? The thesis I did in my creative writing class was time does not exist or that it's not real. And I had a moment in the library where that came through to me, and there was just a ton of understanding how true that is, especially when you're playing outside of the physical realm. And I think I'm sharing that I know the last week I haven't been as active in the Telegram groups. But in the context of time isn't real, I've just felt so much of the past is getting recycled and ready to finally let go after a very long year of feeling stuck. Or what feels like a long year to the point where randomly I offer energy work. One of my clients reached out and invited me to go to a fair that was coming through where I live. And I ended up getting a reading done that took me to a past life as a medicine woman, um, and sort of how that ended, and to the point of visualizing 20 soul contracts like hung like on a clothes rack outside,
Mhm.
blowing in the wind and like dissolving them all. And literally like encountering a trickster. It felt like Little Mermaid scene where it was like asking for parts of me, and I was like, I don't, something's weird here. And she was like, burn that. And then it came through then as like a new portal for me that I could visualize coming through. And since that's happened, um, the athlete chapter of my life, I can start to feel that closure on. I've been holding it because my coach, who's been amazing for me in the last decade, I've been grasping and not accepting it because he's been diagnosed with Parkinson's. And that's not the fairy tale ending I was hoping for the athletic career for him or
Mm.
for me. So that came through and like energetically, I understand it with him. Um, and then all of a sudden, I've been receiving a ton of job offers, whereas the last year I couldn't get a job offer. And ironically, it's in the building where I was laid off. So I'm actually sitting in the parking lot of where I was laid off a year ago because I'm helping a gal with her bookkeeping and data entry and business advisory because that's what I've done as well professionally. And it just feels like everything in the back to that thesis of is time real or is it not? It feels like so much of the past is like, it feels like if you looked at time as a book and if like, let's say past is over here, future's here, and the spine is present, it feels like so much of the past is like brought in the page up to present right now that I've been managing or
Hmm.
experiencing or letting go of or navigating that now it's like as that past is like softening, it's almost like I'm now like rewriting this to like tune into this now.
Hmm.
And it feels like the temptation of like now all of these opportunities have now randomly started presenting themselves. And it's almost like, how much do I believe in my own business and what I'm doing? Or
Oh
am I
yeah.
going to take the bait? Or is it a hybrid of both for the interim?
Hmm.
So it's a lot of emotion and letting go of some big projects and people from the past, and also like extending into past lifetimes ago.
Yep.
Um, but I also seeing like how deep of room that I'm making for what is, I think, coming through for this.
Yep.
I'll leave
Great.
it there.
Yeah. Awesome. Huge identity stuff too. Amazing. Thanks, Adria.
I'll speak it now.
Hi.
Yeah, so in this big like growth portal right now, just like on so many different levels, not really sleeping the way I would like. And then Kelly's share felt really resonant. Like, um, the housing that I'm in just is really not meeting me.
Mm.
Feels very like claustrophobic. With an upstairs neighbor, very unconscious, and then almost like energetic invasion from outside too. So,
Yeah.
struggle busing with my housing situation. Um, and then, yeah, also very similarly to what Tiffany was saying, like this shift around clients and how I represent myself and like how I'm in relationship to that as well. And like there's a kind of sinking in more on a bone level that's happening with how I'm meeting clients and having clients just a bunch of clients shifted out all within like a month and a half who I'd been with for a while. And so now there's this space for new ones and they're not like fully revealed yet.
Yeah.
So that is also happening and then just craving so deeply to actually be in a home in nature and like be in a different kind of what I would call containment system and not quite in that. And then yeah, I'm not on camera in this moment because I've had a very full morning and just had like a body work session before this. So I'm a bit in a goo space.
Totally get it.
So I'm gooing
Yep.
and I'm like, oh, and I'm here and I'm
Yep.
goo.
Good. Yeah. Well,
And then
great.
that's all.
I mean, goo is the space of infinite potential, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing, Kendra. I'm so glad you're here. It feels like many of us have been feeling this in the field too. Many of us are in the place of um, out outgrowing. We have are outgrowing or
Mhm.
have outgrown ourselves, our identity, our literal housing,
Mhm.
client work, business work, myself too. I have to be really careful of this because my a lot of you have heard me say this, but my South Node is in Scorpio, and one of the things I have to watch out for is to not burn everything down, just burn the parts down that are not working. But I'm totally in a like burn it all down, rebuild it phase. Great. So we're all on track. We're all in the right place, even if it's weird and wonky and gooey and upside down. Totally. Great. Geneva, I've been saying I want a successful online business by the time my kids all graduate for 10 years in a place where it's 2 years from now. And I'm like, fuck, time to make it happen for real. Stop fucking around, wasting energy on a million thoughts and plans and dudes. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. Do you really? Geneva said she has these same earrings. This is hilarious. Um, these earrings, I don't know why my Zoom is doing the like, it's not frozen, the whatever it's called, the not clear thing. I've tried to fix it, but I can't, so you can't see it, but I'll show you. They're like symbols, sort of, that are like dipped in paint, maybe. But let me see who's on our call. Okay, some of you know her. One of my friends, sisters, clients, coaches, mentors, like you guys know how the space is when we get to know each other. But one of my favorite women runs these immersive photo shoot retreats that Adrian was just at one of. They're called Bloom Bitch. So my friend's name is Alina, and they're in Grass Valley, California. And I did sort of an offshoot Bloom Bitch with Alina in October over Halloween. This is like a magic of its own. And I came home with so many of Alina's things. I had I had a bracelet, I had a shirt, I had these earrings. Yeah. And these ones specifically, she's like, why don't you keep them? I feel like they chose you. So that's hilarious, Geneva, that you have the same earrings. That's amazing. That is magically amazing. I love that. All right. All right, gang. Anything else want to be spoken or typed into this space around what's alive, just feeling each other? Anything else you want me to know before we dive? We dive, we spelunk, we swim together in magic. Great. I hear you, Kelly. I would like to be my masculine is showing up to this call and saying we have a hard stop at 2 also. We'll see what my feminine has to say at 2 o'clock, but my plan right now is it's a hard stop at 2, okay? Hard container is a powerful container. All right, great. Everyone take a breath. I feel myself just loving this room, and so my energy got all up and bubbly. Everyone take a breath. Feel your bones. Feel your butt. Hmm. Feel your feet. Send your consciousness down your body. Send your consciousness to the sweet space in between your legs, like the negative space in between your legs, the space in between your arms and your body, like your armpits. Be aware of your knees, the space between your toes, the space between your fingertips. And just notice how your body shifts, how your breath shifts, your energy shifts down and back. Simply just noticing these places in ourselves. Yeah. And acknowledging that this place of in-betweenness, the liminal space, the wobbly, the goo state, the somewhere between the chrysalis form and the reforming, that's like, I mean, even in butterfly form is like really weird, right? Like acknowledging that we're all in some form of this phasing. And there is a lot of unknown. There is a lot of felt sense of what each of you is being called into. And this part of the journey is often quite blind Like we don't know. We can't see. Some of you in your reformation don't even have eyeballs yet. And so much of this part of the process is deep nervous system work, nervous system regulation. Brandy, to bring your point in on expansion into overwhelm, this also is nervous system and capacity. So if you even feeling the edges of your capacity, which of course is tested by many, many things, not just your own expansion. And just feeling that capacity gets bigger the more regulated we are, right? The more in your feet you are, the more in your root and in your center you are the more capacity you have. And that's never to say that you need to have all of the capacity in the world. That is a wound that women carry, and we don't need to do that anymore. However, we can meet the bigness, the massiveness of what's coming through with a wider and lower center of gravity with regulation and capacity. I'm just staying here for a moment longer. I wrote about this earlier today, but I've really been feeling the opportunity to shift from such a human-centered, individualist-centered point of view around creation. I, this one woman, am creating a whole fucking world, as all of you are. This is true. And the creation of worlds is not meant for just humans. It's not meant for one person. That's insane. It's meant for community to disperse the weight and the wheels and the gears, and it's also meant for our guides and our gods. So in this moment, how much can you breathe and give over? You don't have to know everything right now. You don't have to carry it all. In your sweet little somas and your sweet little energy fields. Okay. I really want you to tune in with your heart. And as you tune in with your heart, be aware of your heart and then all of the hearts in our sweet magical field. And as the energy shifts in the room, notice the coherence that begins to form. Feeling your own center of gravity, your own energy body. And you are more, I'm gonna keep talking for a couple minutes. You're more than welcome to stay where you are and just keep receiving with your eyes closed and in goo form. And you are also more than welcome to open your eyes and receive in that form, whatever is true for you. So shifting chapters, new chapter. Same book, new chapter. We, all of us, all humans, on whatever state of consciousness we are existing, manifest internally, right? It's an inside job. Pretty classic 101, as within, so without. We manifest from the stories that we tell. We manifest from the stories that we tell. And we tell stories with our mouths, with our voices, with our embodiment, how we are holding ourselves, with the frequency and the energy that we're running, with our vibration. We tell stories with our thoughts. We tell stories with our actions. And there's this nuanced spot here because we talk a lot about story in the world that we live in, right? To not stay in the story, but to come into the embodiment and the energy of it. But I want to shift. That's often true. And also I want to shift into the power and the magic of storytelling, as storytelling has been a magical act for humans forever, and the way that magic is passed down through lineage from family to family and tribe to tribe. So claiming now the power and the magic of storytelling. Hi, Sarah. Yay. Um, Knowing that again, manifestation is an inside job. We, the stories we tell internally in all of the ways that we tell stories is what we create externally, right? So, very simply, if you want a different reality, tell a better story, right? Which is so fun because we get to write our own stories. The hopeless romantic in me or the poet in me is just like total swoon body over that. We get to write our own stories. Um, so I am going to read you a short story, one of my favorites, and then we are going to write we together, you individually are going to write your own story through field work, your embodiment, and your energetics. And I'll walk you through the whole way. So right now, just receive the story that I'm going to read to you. And as you're doing that, if you need to give your brain a little job because brains love little jobs, um, you can let your brain sort of loop or hook onto what your story around client creation gets to be. Gets to be. Okay, so the story I'm going to read you is by, I was going to say one of my favorite authors because I want to make space for other authors because I fucking love stories, but I think he's just my favorite. This book is by Neil Gaiman. And my favorite thing about him is that he bridges reality and he bridges the realms so well, like the different realms of physical existence into the unseen world. Um, this is fat little squirrel right next to my window. Neil Gaiman, and this book is called Instructions, which of course is a children's book, and of course is totally not a children's book at all. I'll show you the cover. Okay, it's like not going into focus. All right, so this will take us, I don't know, 4 minutes. And again, we're just like the my intent behind this is to read you this story that so that you can start to formulate your own new story about client creation. Okay. So you guys do as you want to do, eyes closed, eyes open. However, Instructions by Neil Gaiman. Touch the wooden gate in the wall you never saw before. Say please before you open the latch. Go through. Walk down the path. A red metal imp hangs from the green painted front door as a knocker. Do not touch it, it will bite your fingers. Walk through the house, take nothing, eat nothing. However, if any creature tells you that it hungers, feed it. If it tells you that it is dirty, clean it. If it cries to you that it hurts, you can ease its pain. From the back garden, you will be able to see the wild wood. The deep well you walk past leads to winter's realm. There is another land at the bottom of it. If you turn around here, you can walk back safely. You will lose no face. I will think no less of you. Once through the garden, you will be in the wood. The trees are old. Eyes peer from the undergrowth. Beneath a twisted oak sits an old woman. She may ask for something. Give it to her. She will point the way to the castle. Inside it are 3 princesses. Do not trust the youngest. Walk on. In the clearing beyond the castle, the 12 months sit around a fire, warming their feet, exchanging tales. They may do favors for you if you are polite. You may pick strawberries in December's frost. Trust the wolves, but do not tell them where you are going. The river can be crossed by the ferry. The ferryman will take you. The answer to his question is this. If he hands the oar to his passenger, he will be free to leave the boat. Only tell him this from a safe distance. If an eagle gives you a feather, keep it safe. Remember that giants sleep too soundly, that witches are often betrayed by their appetites. Dragons have one soft spot somewhere always. Hearts can be well hidden, and you betray them with your tongue. Do not be jealous of your sister. Know that diamonds and roses are as uncomfortable when they tumble from one's lips as frogs and toads. Colder, too, and sharper, and they cut. Remember your name. Do not lose hope. What you seek will be found. Trust ghosts. Trust those that you have helped to help you in return. Trust dreams. Trust your heart and trust your story. When you come back, return the way you came. Favors will be returned. Debts will be repaid. Do not forget your manners. Do not look back. Ride the wise eagle. You shall not fall. Ride the silver fish. You will not drown. Ride the gray wolf. Hold tightly to his fur. There is a worm at the heart of the tower. That is why it will not stand. When you reach the little house, the place your journey started, you will recognize it, although it will seem much smaller than you remember. Walk up the path and through the garden gate you never saw before but once. And then go home, or make a home, or rest. So, two things here, and then we'll get into our magical field work. I've been feeling a lot around the soul's call to adventure, around this the next like the next calling of the soul for I believe everybody in this room. Um, where a soul comes back around again and knocks on the door and is like, "Hey, we're going." And we have some, if we so choose, some classic call to adventure steps here where there's resistance, right? We're like, "Nope, not going." No thanks, I'll stay home. And then the home starts to get a little bit smaller and gets a little itchy. And for many of you, like actual home stuff coming up, right? Um, and then there's the answer. We answer the call and we're like, yeah, you're right. It's time. And it's probably scary and it's probably going to touch all of the edges that it absolutely needs to touch in order for expansion to happen. Um, and then we go on a whole journey and we meet guides and we have ordeals and we create tools and we gain friends and gather an elixir and come back home. And when we come back home, the house is a little bit smaller because you've just gone on a journey and outgrown it. But that is so much of my work and your guys' work in the world is to bring the elixir back to the village, right? Like you go on journeys and you bring back what you find to um, nourish the world. And part of why I wanted to bring this story through, one is I love it. And two, this is funny, this is the second time this has come through. The very first retreat that I was on with my friend Alina in California, our hair and makeup woman who, if I have a feeling that a lot of you are going to end up on these retreats. So like you're going to meet her someday. Her name is Misty. Misty is just this like magical human being. I see Adrienne smiling. She's incredible. Misty, so this was 3 or 4 years ago. Is that right? I don't know, whatever, some time ago. Um, Misty showed up to do a teaching on hair and makeup, and she's like, so like body is temple based. She's sacred about the whole thing. It's so beautiful and magical. Misty had just gone on a trip, and her like all of her luggage was gone. It didn't land with them, and it was like one of those cases where it was like all of the makeup and hair tools she'd ever collected. It was like tens of thousands of stuff. And all of us gathered in the backyard, and we all together wrote Misty a story about how her luggage was returned to her, how it fell off the airplane and the birds caught it and they delivered it to the whales in the ocean. The whales took it to the mice, and Misty got her luggage back. So this is the field work that we're working with today. If you want a different reality, if you want a different, yeah, if you want a different reality, tell a better story. So what we're going to do is work with the field, which is the most, Tiffany, you brought through like textiles and tangibility. Um, This is the most textile, aside from working with like frequencies in my body. This is the most textile that I can get to working with magic. So, I believe that we are all here to create 5 new clients. If your intention is different, then you'll adjust this for you. If it is to create 5 new clients, I'm going to have you gather 5 things that represent your 5 clients. This can be rocks, this can be plants, it can be pillows, it can be a piece of paper that you break up into 5 pieces. If you, like Adria, are in your car, I mean, I'm sure you have stuff like dig around in your purse. Just find 5 can be totally arbitrary objects. You can also just use like visual points. So for me, it would be like work table, fireplace, kitchen table, couch, roll of tape. I'll give you, I don't know, 90 seconds to gather your objects. And as you're gathering, just be aware of like knowing that we're going into the field, uh, going in, going into the field. Um, and the intention is to write a different story, to write yourself a magical story, however you want to. Just be aware of the stories that you like, damn it, don't want to run anymore. Like that story isn't isn't being woven into the story that you're writing. Personally, for me, I love a great this isn't working story. It's my favorite. This isn't working. When I'm spiraling, that's my favorite place to go. My other one is they don't understand. We are going to hold this one lightly. We're not going to do a bunch of work with it. Really just acknowledge it and then choose a different story. You guys all know that I'm not an I'm not an ascension pather. I'm not a bypasser. I'm not here to bypass the shadow ever. But for what we're doing, we're just going to acknowledge it, hold it lovingly, and uh, send it down the path and out the door on its sweet little way. Okay. Oh, also, Adrian, my God, happy birthday. Yay. That feels like even more magic. We get birthday magic too. I know I have a lot more Taurus birthdays too. I'm just feeling into this group. Like who else? Okay. Okay. So you have your 5 representatives. These are your 5 representatives of your 5 clients coming in. And I'm going to have you either close your eyes or close one eye. But as you do that, I want you to soften into like deep space. Soften into, there's kind of this vision where you can see, it's like you can see sparkles on the edge of reality or this like quavering plane, quavering veil between the physical plane and the other planes. This we could also call this a space of imagination. So just soften your eyes, soften one eye, and feel into your 5 representatives, your 5 new clients. These representatives, we are informing them, are your 5 new clients coming into your practice. And they're going to hold the vibrational frequency of each of your 5 new clients. So right now we're working with your body as an instrument, your body as a tuning fork, as well as these five representatives, these representations of your clients as also vibrational tuning forks. You'll understand what I mean in a minute if that doesn't land. So before we like really get into our magic work, I want you to inform your field being in this moment, your field being the room that holds your five new clients. Inform your field of what you're about to do here. I'm creating five new clients. I'm so excited to celebrate five new clients in my practice, to welcome five new clients. You can do it out loud, you can do it in your head, you can do it in your heart, just do it in your intention. And you can also inform your field around what it is that you would like to know or see or shift or understand better as you begin to write a new story. So, your body as a tuning fork. Tuning forks run energy, right? They transmit. Just notice what's happening in your body. And take a breath. And on your next breath, I want you to intentionally shift into the woman who has five new clients. What is she like? You can even snap your fingers and drop in. The process was easy. They're all really stoked to be in your practice. They're lit to invest with you because you know that you are creating their dream world. Feel who this woman is. Bring her into your body. Feel the density of her bones, the width and the depth of her nervous system and her capacity, the love in her eyes, the confidence, conviction, and unwaveringness in her. And anything else you want to infuse in here. Gravity, stability, some sparkles, magic wand. And you're going to feel into your field, feel into your five clients in your field. Tune in with them one by one. And just notice as you tune in with client one, client two, client three, client four, client five, one by one, just notice what your body picks up. Like turn and face client one and notice what happens in you. It might be subtle, it might be loud, there might be a knowing. You might have fear, you might have question, you might have excitement, you might get colors, you might get a memory, you might have smell. Trust what's here. And each one of your five clients is going to have a little bit different of a energetic frequency, of a flavor. So spend a minute or two here and just get to know them. And as you tune in with them, getting to client like 4 or 5 now, also being aware of where they are in your field, how close they are to you, if they're facing you, if they're facing away. Just being aware, making note, curiosities. Look at that. And invitationally, you might want to rearrange them. If they are things, you might want to bring them closer, hug them in with even more love, closer to your body. If they're physical things, like for me, I'm not going to move my dining room table, but I can create deeper contact with it. That would be my client number 3. And for a couple minutes, guys, you're going to journey with these clients into story, into the realm of mythology. So behind your closed eyes or behind your soft eyes, ask your guides, ask your gods to draw near so that you can feel them, know them, or they get to be a part of your story, the new magical story that you're writing, where you're inviting in Saint Expedite or Mercury or Calliope or Venus, Ganesha, whoever it is that's here for you now. Invite them in. Could be your spirit guides at large, your benevolent ancestors, source, the heart of the earth, your angels, and let them be characters in your story. So see out in front of you your 5 new clients and let this space in between you and them write the story for you. Let the myth unfold where you walk out your house, out of your door, down the path, open the garden gate, walk into the forest. And this is the invitation where you write the story. It's a creation story. You write your own creation story for your 5 new clients and let it be magical and let it be mythical. Let the animals help you and the plants help you. Your guides and your gods help you. You might do this in your imagination, knowing that it's working in the field. You might do this with your actual objects and like play them out, almost like you're 5 and playing with creatures on the floor. It might be both. But allow yourself to let go of the logic and the rationality of client creation. Like unbutton the tie and play. Write your new reality. So we're going to hang out in this space on your own for a couple minutes. And I'll call you back. Take about 2 more minutes. Knowing that, you can start to orient toward your ending, your happy ending, however you want this to end. And maybe 60 more seconds, knowing that you can always write more story. You can always finish this later. You can always update and edit, paving any paths you need to pave, closing any conversations with creatures or clients. And then beginning to come back to the embodied gnosis, the decision that your story is in the field, and therefore it simply is. It's in the bag. And for those of you that are off in journey, you can start to feel your feet, feel the walls around you. Even if your eyes are still closed, begin to orient back to the physical plane, bringing your story with you. Like Adria was talking about at the top of the call, on the illusion of time. I'll drop us into mythic time or quantum time here real quick. Um, when we work in the field like this, you're actually moving the field. You're moving reality. So don't be surprised when things start to shift in your external reality. This is one of my favorite things about doing field work. And doing field work like this is through play, which makes its potency. I don't even know if you can make a linear jump here, but makes its potency from a science perspective at least 10x. So doing field like work like this, I have had, like, this is the kind of stuff where you're like, you talk about your sister and then she texts you, or like you think about an old client and then they're in your email tomorrow, or they'll feel it. Like the work that you just did, the field feels it, and it moves things for you. So we are almost at the top of the hour. I am going to hard stop for those of you that need to leave at 2, and soft stop for those of you that want to digest with your voices and tell us about your myth, your story, the new story that you're telling. And I will also say that the fire starter starts on Monday. So for those of you that are building and selling out your programs with us, that was a curious way to say that. For those of you that are building and selling out your programs with us, you're going to build and sell out your programs with us. Fire starter starts on Monday. And I have a couple more spots If one of them is for you, just come see me. I'll send an email out about it too. Cool. Okay, those of you that need to hop at 2, thank you so much. Go tell beautiful stories in your days. Remember that your storytelling becomes your reality, so keep it good, keep it magical. And those of you that want to stay for another like 10 minutes, we can tell some stories together. I'd love to hear from you. Great. What are your stories like? Tell me from the land of myth.
Words are hard right now. And I was in such a journey that it's hard for me to even grasp the storylines now. But one that I can remember is one of my clients is a mushroom. I had a bunch of mushrooms that I've just had in here for a long time. And the mushroom people were conjugating together about my work and my offers. And it was like a transmission. I just dropped a bunch of them. It was like a whole transmission where their energy was just spreading it outward to reach the woman, um,
Mm.
and have her know about my work and like find her.
Mhm. And like the
Mm.
mycelial network.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then they were like, we don't want to be in this bag anymore. Can you put us somewhere else? So now they're in this little cauldron and I just knocked them all over. So sorry. Thank you for the work you're doing.
Um,
Yeah, that was really fun. I honestly don't do a lot of that, Carl. So this is where your magic is so fun to work with.
Well, thank you. But also mine brings out yours because like you just dropped in, man. And like
Yeah.
now you have mushroom people all over your floor.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Carl.
Yeah, killer. Thanks, Tiff. Um, Anyone else want to pop off and tell us your mythical story, or you're welcome to write it in the chat. Also, if we're complete, we can be complete too. Not trying to draw it out.
I can hop in here. I had to put my phone on the floor because my phone got too hot and deactivated
I've
itself.
so been there. Yeah.
Um, so I am here. Um, as a result of my phone, the timing's ironic. I missed the entire story that you told us. And then right when you finished, I like feel like I could come back in and actually hear everything again.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, I'm supposed to go back and listen to the story later. Sorry, I just had to open my car door because it was too hot for it to like breathe in here. I
Yeah.
love it. So where I kind of dialed in is I felt like I was very in and out. I have my notebook here. Um, Not that I expect anyone to read that writing. But when it was find the 5 objects in my car, I picked 5 very like random objects, one being like the container of poop bags for my dog, liquid eyeliner, a name tag that I didn't even know I had in my console from like university waitressing. I had my name tag, magnet.
Nice.
Um, just like a keychain, and I found a dime, which is like dimes are usually like my grandma's coming through in some sense,
Mhm.
or my late grandma. I got to the like, how does it feel to have these 5 new people? And I feel like I saw the 5 items, and when it was just like making space, it felt like each of the 5 items represented one of the 5 people coming in, and each of them was like a bubble around each of them. And I think it's like the first person I've met, which is why I'm like where I am right now. And I'm doing some work with her. And like, I'm not a partner, but like we're sole proprietors, like helping each other. She was the dime. And then it was like she's a 10, she's a dime. And I was like, that's a weird vibe to come through because like it's not a romantic attraction. Like we both have our respective partners. And it was just like, okay, this is funny.
Yeah.
And then the poop eggs, where it came through as like, I haven't met them in this life, but it really brought me back to the reading I had last week of the past life. Yeah. And it was like, I'm gonna get to one of them is gonna be like a best friend from that life because I was killed for what I could do in the past life, which makes a lot of sense in this version of me. But because I was let go of earlier in life than I was planning in that one, I missed a lot of time. So she lived a lot of time without me. So apparently she's coming through the poop bags because we're going to deal with all the shit in the past in this one where we can both be here now. And I was like, how cheeky of all of you. And then the other three kind of got a little bit more murky. And it felt harder to like tune into like what I numbered like 4 and 5 being the keychain and the magnetic name tag. But the magnetic name tag felt like it was a name change. So I was like, am I like getting married that I changed my last name? And then after the past life, something that came through was the thought of like, what if I actually took my mom's maiden name to honor the more maternal lineage that I'm feeling more drawn to?
Sure.
And then it was like I wrote down my name of like Adria Eamon would be my new name. And it was like, yes, like when you sit into a hot tub on a cool day. And I was like, okay, so I have a name change up and coming.
Whoa, I got
And then
chills
it
on my
was like
legs.
time to come. It was like, let me flip the page. What else did I write? Then it was like call in your guides to help you. And then it's like I was in an auditorium and they're like, sit down, bitch. And I was like, all right. And then they were on the stage and like the 5 items were all like floating in there. And then they were just like moving them like mosaic tiles almost and just like rearranging them
Yeah.
and then just like playing with them. Um, and then the 3 symbols that I got in like the past life reading kept coming through of like a satchel, selenite, and like a big wand behind me. And the message that she kept telling me, or the reader kept telling me, was there, the platter of 3 is there. You just have to take them. And
Mm.
then it took me to the third bubble, and then it was like, done. And I was like, okay.
Well,
So
that's a lot of
that,
information for missing the whole storyline.
so yeah, I'm excited. So it's when I'm not gonna kill my phone here and I'm like trying to like hide it in the shade strategically, I like have a bag up here. So yeah, I definitely can tell I need to go back and see what I missed. But I also just I don't actually think it's ironic that I missed the entire story and I came back with complete clarity since.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I so trust that.
So
I can
I'll
feel it.
have to like look back on my notes and like in the rational sense go through them because I feel like I'm kind of in and out right now. Because the whole session was like in and then out, like write what I saw down, then back in and then write what I saw. So I guess stay tuned to what the actual story is because I don't actually know if that's a story. I kind of wish that they like had dialogue with me. It was more just like symbol, connection, memory, boom,
Yeah.
next.
Yeah. That's great.
But
Brilliant.
I can leave it here. I talked a lot. Sorry.
No, not at all. That's awesome. Super magical. Amazing, guys. Um, well, that's a wrap. That our time flew by. I'm like, wow, that was an hour. Um, cool. Well, you guys are already in the fire starter, so I'll see you in there. I can't wait to see these stories unfold in real time together.
Another thing that came through, I'll share real quick,
Yeah.
is name change. I've been Authenticity for like 8 years,
Yeah.
and I have a little bit of a crunch around that. So I'm gonna sit with that a little more.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ooh.
I know. Yeah, it's like, am I owning my full name now?
Yeah. What does
Maybe
that
the
do?
name change was for you.
What did you say?
Maybe the name change was for you.
Yeah. Yeah, Authenticity. It's like I'm moving out of the like deep healer. And for myself too, it's like I'm not doing this really deep dive healing work. And Authenticity was like I was journaling on Instagram. That's how that started. Like through my healing journey, I started out as like the person that was just sharing authentically about my journey. And then that's how I started my coaching. But I don't know, there's something about like what you said, Carl, or like what needs to be put to bed completely and like what can stay and just be modified, or elements that I'm playing with now, at where I'm at, like my group program. I think
Hmm.
that's asleep for now. It's going to be something different this year. So yeah, just like definitely got little droplets of wisdom in that, but I'm sitting with what that actually gets to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a sense that it's that your name change is to your name, or do you have another like
It would be
fire?
my name.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
It
yeah,
feels like full ownership of self could be really powerful in that. Um, but there's a little bit of a, oh, I love authenticity. It's just been part of me, like for so long. But I could see that why that would be even more powerful. Like that's been a part of me for so long. Am I ready to like move on to this next phase? That feels really powerful.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know here, classic parts work. Like she's not going anywhere. She's always a part of you.
AJ, what are you going to change your name to?
Sorry, on my phone, my mute button like appears and disappears
Yeah.
sporadically. It felt like I would take my mom's maternal last name. Um, my paternal side of my family has a lot of strife from when I was a kid. And when in sport, people have recognized my last name. My uncle was a big NHL player, but because our family has such a disconnect, it would actually be triggered to be identified by the paternal line because they cause so much harm in our immediate family. So carrying it, I never changed my name. So I always just like assumed I'd get married one day and not have to carry it anymore. But I think
Yeah.
more recently the thought popped in of like, okay, if I'm actually with like the first time in my life, it feels like I'm with a partner who could actually be a life partner. And we haven't had the conversation of changing names. He's mentioned he's like, yeah, I'd like love to get married, but obviously like we haven't even been dating a year, so like calm down. He's like, wait, I'm the one that suggested that. I'll calm down. And like just like some of those thoughts being or like seeds being planted, it's like I thought letting go of my last name would feel better, but taking his or like trying his on didn't feel right either. And then I tried on and I don't know, it just like didn't feel right. I kind of shelved it. And then I was looking back on what came through in my reading last week. Changing my name to Adria Eamon is my mom's maiden name. All of a sudden landed like really deeply in me. And then I just felt this big, I want to call it grief, because what I was actually processing then was the realization that my coach, who has been more like a parent figure for me for the last 15, 16 years, like I can, even if I wanted to be an athlete, I could never ask him to do that because it's the acceptance that Parkinson's is something you don't come back from. And I think because he's been such a important person for me, the actual conceptual realization of that, like logical me knows, but to like actually sit and feel that grief came through, and it was just like the loss of like the male role mentor in my life, and just like knowing there's nothing I can do about it. There's no like, as like someone who's like, as you get it, everyone here is kind of an energy healer to a degree, to just like know that this is one of the ones that you don't get to just like help them get to that exhale or like let it go. Like it's more than that. Um, and I think it's like that full identity of letting go of like Adria the athlete, um, Adria prop from like the masculine side. I think by having burned those contracts in that reading and like activation on the energetic field, I feel like I've let go of that responsibility in this lifetime now. And it's like the medicine woman part is landing really deep with me. Um, and it's like, what's her name? And it's not from the paternal side, it's from the maternal side. And I wrote out my name as Adria Eamon, and I was like, ooh, that feels good. And my grandma, who comes through as a dime, that's her last name. And I always knew her as like Matilda Eamon.
Yeah.
And like otherwise, it's all girls in that family. So they all have different names. So all my aunts and uncles never carried the name. There's one brother who did, but otherwise, that name fizzles out in our family tree. So then
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I carry the maternal name forward. And then I was like, my cousins might be like, why are you doing this? Why don't we get it? And I'm like, but wait, they all could if they wanted to. And then I was like, wait, even why wouldn't I like do that? I don't have to take my partner's last name. Like the women have been taking the men's last name for so long, or like sold or betrothals or whatever. And now I'm like, why
I like
couldn't I do that?
I like Eamon, Adria Eamon. That's hot.
I know every time you
Like,
say it, my body's like, yeah,
Like, oh, it's like softening me. Like,
yeah,
ah.
yeah.
Yeah.
and then when you actually when I rearrange it, it's more like it's closer to shaman. And when I get that etymology out of it, it really feels like it's connecting the medicine woman, like shaman. Those are the two terms that I think I've felt closest to relating to in my energy work. But I still am on the fence on the noun that I think lands for me, but I don't think the noun matters. But it feels like if it's medicine woman to shaman to Eamon, like there's something about that connection in there with the M in the medicine and the M in the Eamon. It's spelled EHMAN.
Mm.
Mm, it's
And
wonderful.
it feels with the H, it's almost just like human. It's not about the heman or the sheman. It's just like Eamon.
Yeah, it's
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
It's awesome. If we had had more time, I would have asked, like when I do readings for like from an oracle deck or a storybook or whatever, I love to know which lines popped for everybody. So if we had had more time, I would have asked that. But when I was reading this book, the line that just like jumped off the page for me was remember your name.
Mm.
Remember your name. Um, and I have Tiff, I think you might know her just by name. I don't think you've met her. But my friend client sister from New Zealand, Karen.
Mhm.
Um, Karen is like wise beyond her years. She's and she talks about the name. She's like the frequency of one's name, the frequency of the name that you were either born into or Adria like stepping into, like called into, is pure. It's like remember your name. I am, right? And like there's a like a homing practice that we can do too, like when we feel scattered or like our energy of self is like diffused, or even like a grounding practice for, you have a client that's just like blown the fuck out and they're like, where am I? It's just like say your name, like I am Carly, and it just like reorganizes all of my energy. So there is something in like the delivery of the name as it's meant to ring through you that is like so powerful.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It feels right. I'm excited to hear what you end up landing on.
It's either I'm letting go of authenticity or I'm keeping it, but energetically it feels old.
Yeah. I think I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'll tell you what to do. You know what to do. You're not keeping it.
I gotta grieve it first and like go through that process. But
Right.
yeah, wow, wild. And I don't think it's Milburn. Milburn's my maiden name. I'm like, I kept it because of the same reason. My dad's like, the name dies with you. And I'm like, oh my God, the name dies with me. I have to keep it.
What an obligation.
I know. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. I'm married. I'm ready for Ingalls.
Yeah,
Tiffany Ingalls.
it's good.
Bad bitch coach. Biggest season in my show.
Uh-huh. Hell
It's
yeah.
literally a jingle.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, gang. Really beautiful. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks for staying extra, Carl.
Yeah,
Good
of
to meet you,
Yeah,
course.
Adria.
likewise. Thank
This
you.
fest.
Bye.
Okay.
See you
See
out
you guys
there.
soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.